Off on the Cincinnati Reds and their playoff history up until 2024, specific to the National League. So I'm really grateful for you all to join this journey. We've already done Arizona, we've done Atlanta, we've done the Cubbies, and so now we're going to do the Cincinnati Reds. And so let me just go ahead and share my screen. Let's look at these world famous Excels right here. So I gotta say, I'm all about logos. I'm all about retro and things like that. I love the Cincinnati Reds, like the old school logo. I mean, look at the his hat is a baseball. Like that's hilarious. And what's he's wearing a C for the Cincinnati, for the Reds, Cincinnati City, whatever. Anyways, I'm doing really good in this video. So let's talk about the Reds. 6-7 in the National League playoffs as of 2024. We're gonna save the most juicy detail for last, but let's talk about the top row. We got the Braves, the Dodgers, the Mets. Braves took out the Reds twice in the playoffs, the 95 NLCS. This is the year after the strike. Braves ended up beating Cleveland in the World Series that year. And then the 2020 National League Wild Card Series. I believe that's the Trevor Bauer series where he was like unhittable. Braves just scored just enough to beat them, maybe game one. And so interesting stuff. And in 2020, we were playing at all sorts of neutral sites and things like that. The Dodgers, the Braves took out in 95, which allowed them to play the Braves in the National League Championship Series in 95. But Reds got the best of the Dodgers in 95, only time that they've met since 1969, since the um, League Championship Series format was introduced. The New York Mets. So the Reds, for those of you who maybe are my age or who just weren't around or know about the Big Red Machine in the 1970s, I'm sure I'll learn a lot more, but they were dominant. They were always making it to at least the LCS, which back in the day, you had to win. There's two teams that made the playoffs from each league starting in 1969, but the Mets took them out in 1973. And then the Phillies, 1976, the Reds actually beat the Phillies that year in the 76 National League Championship Series, and then Reds lost them in the 2010 National League Division Series. I'm gonna skip the Pirates because the Pirates is so interesting. And then in 2012, the Giants took out the Reds in the National League Division Series. So the Pirates and the Reds were like always facing each other in the 1970s, specifically in the NLCS, the National League Championship Series. And based on my research, this is the most common LCS matchup, so league championship matchup among any team, any pair of teams. And so it's crazy. Like the Reds dominated. Let's just say that. Look at 1970, win. 1972, win. 1975, win. And then the Pirates got them in 1979. That's the We Are Family version of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then again in 1990, the Reds got the best of the Pirates. And then the Reds swept the A's, who were so heavily favored. Jose Rijo was the MVP of that series, I believe, but Billy Hatcher was crushing it. Chris Sabo, it was crazy. And what's a really interesting fact is the 1972 National League Championship Series, which the Reds won on a wild pitch by the pitcher Moose. And I'm drawing a blank on his full name, but Moose was one of his names. That was actually Roberto Clemente's last game. And unfortunately, we know kind of if you're familiar with his story and how he's trying to provide humanitarian aid and dying on, I think it's New Year's Day or New Year's Eve on a plane crash. Really significant moment. But overall, the Reds started off so well in the LCS series, those 1970s bright Reds, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, it just dominated. And so this is a snapshot of the Cincinnati Reds, a playoff history. Thank you all so much, and hope you guys have a wonderful day.